Okay, and the first item on our agenda is the vote for the secretary of the committee. Since we only have one other member of the committee here, I'm hoping that other member would be willing to be the secretary, if that is.
Yes, I will definitely help out.
Okay. Would you like to make the motion, Rebecca?
I make a motion that Robin McCray becomes secretary for this finance committee board until its dissolution upon the finance committee election, following the finance committee election.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, unanimous vote. Ms. McCray will now be the secretary of the finance committee until such time as the election has been completed and people have been appointed to the positions on the FinCom finance committee. Okay, second agenda item is to discuss and possibly vote to adopt Robert's Rules of Order for finance committee meetings. For me, after I've read the Robert's Rules, I don't know if that's something we want to. I'm sorry, what was that?
I was going to say, suddenly you are very, very quiet, but something changed and you were full volume again.
Yeah, I moved my pad away from my mouth. I didn't figure people want to see this big of my ugly mug, so I'm trying to give people a break. But I guess they're to get the full screen effect of it, I guess. Yeah, some of the problems that after reading Robert's Rules would be difficulty interacting with other boards and committees, I think. They are complicated rules, and I'm not sure that all citizens of Ashby would be able to know them and have knowledge enough to use them, because they can get complicated. Also, looking at some of the things, some of the rules and procedures can be used to hamper agendas and votes, the progress of them. On the one big thing is that there's no parliamentarian, a Robert's Rules expert, to provide clarification on something that may have a gray area in it or that is misunderstood by us. That being said, I think I would like to take some of the stuff that they have in Robert's Rules and apply it to our own rules that we have with the committee. Does anyone else have any comments on the subject?
I do, but I don't think you can see my hand raised.
Oh, let me see here. All right.
Now it's raised.
Yeah, I don't see your hand raised, but go ahead, just address who you are and then say, what your comments are about it. And for the committee, we don't necessarily have to do the hand raise thing, I don't think.
Okay. And I was raising it on the screen. I don't think you can see me visually.
No, there's no video for you.
Got it.
Hey,
Sorry
Rebecca.
about that. You can? Oh.
I just have the phone thing.
Weird. Okay. Well, all I wanted to say, I had emailed you about a half an hour ago, maybe a little bit less than that. I had written up, I didn't really expect us to adopt Robert's Rules because, one, there's like 40 million versions of them. So just saying Robert's Rules would be extremely confusing in and of itself. I had written up some things, and I'm happy to email it so that everybody can look at it. I think, Eldon, you wrote up some stuff, and I was hoping you could email that. And I was sort of thinking that we would all just start brainstorming and coming up with a set of rules that we could all agree on and vote in.
I mean, that's a great idea. But we start doing that, we start getting into quorums, and we start doing wagon wheel stuff, which are OML violations. We need to try to avoid that. As if you have any ideas tonight, either of you, I would say let's address them here, because it's once we get, you know, 2 people, that's kind of okay. But once we start discussing as a group, then it becomes a quorum, and if we don't have an agenda for it, then it gets very ugly from there. So
No, I'm saying, like, if we were in person, I would have brought this to the meeting. I was saying email it so that we could all look at the same thing as if we were in person and discuss it right now in this meeting. Which we have an agenda item for, because it's the discuss and vote Robert's rules. It's all taken from those books that we had last week, and just,
okay,
you
so
know.
what you're saying is you want to email it to us now and discuss it at this meeting? Is my understanding?
Yes, and I was hoping you would
Okay.
do the same if you had stuff prepared.
Okay, we just need to make sure, Robin, make sure you would add those emails to the minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I can get email.
Um, okay, just a second. Sorry, let me see if I can transfer my thoughts about this onto. All right. I will. Okay, I will. Second. Trying to find it now. And I will forward these to. Okay, so are we, I'm still trying to connect that. Okay, I'm not sure where, I can't find my thoughts, but I guess what I do like about Robert's rules are that all the questions and comments are addressed to the chair, and they don't address private people or other members of the committee, which cuts down on name calling and, you know, just being rude or accusatory. I also like the fact that there is no use of names and that you can put time limits on the amount of time that a speaker can speak. I also like the alternating of pro and con statements, like somebody says something against it, then you try to find somebody to say something pro for it, and you just kind of do that back and forth with the people. And that only agenda specific or agenda item specific comments are allowed at that time. And that they suggest you do one question, that the person gets one question and then there's the reply, not like 4 or 5 questions in a row and then you have to reply. And I believe these are things that we could adopt. Does anyone else have any ideas, suggestions, comments?
I do.
Okay.
It's a lot of it is what you just said, but I wrote it out and I have sent the email to both of you and Kevin, even though he isn't here because he's part of the group.
Okay.
And basically, I wanted to have something that we could mark up, write down on, and come up with something and be able to vote on it. And it's everything you just said, Eldon, just spelled out maybe. So I had basic rules of conduct and procedure. In accordance with the rules laid out here and voted on by this Finance Committee body, the chair has authority over all meeting procedures and runs all Finance Committee meetings. If the chair cannot be present at a meeting, the said chair must appoint a replacement of his or her choosing to act as chair. That was the first one.
Yes, I just got your email and opened it up.
Oh, good. Okay.
So we, I'm a little gray on this. So would we need to vote on this, make this a motion and vote on this as our rules? Or is this just something that we could just run with?
I think that if we wanted it to actually have any meaning, we would have to vote on it. But already you have mentioned 2 things that aren't on this. So I didn't think that we would adopt this precisely. I thought this would be a starting point to start to fix up and make it what we wanted.
Okay, so you want to table this then, like for our next meeting Tuesday? Is that what you were thinking?
We can. I was actually thinking that we would do that here as a group. Like everybody would just chime in and say what they liked or they didn't. If it went well, we could adopt it. If it seemed to drag on and was taking forever, we could table it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I agree with everything that you put onto this email.
I do too.
Okay.
Let's see, what are the things that, the one thing is like, we don't have, one question then reply on there, correct? I didn't catch that.
Correct. And I didn't put that, nor did I have something specifically saying that we don't use people's names. Those are the 2 notes that I just wrote on it while you were talking of things that you mentioned that I missed.
Okay. All right. Then I guess I guess I will make the motion and we just read it all the way down to the end, correct?
Okay. Do you want to add in the names part and the question and reply part?
I think it's a good idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I will add those at the end as I read this off, okay?
Oh, perfect.
Okay. I move that the basic rules of conduct and procedure for the Finance Committee are as such. In accordance with the rules laid out here and voted on by this Finance Committee body, the chair has authority over all meeting procedure and runs all Finance Committee meetings. If the chair cannot be present at a meeting, said chair must appoint a replacement of his or her choosing to act as chair. Secondly, all members address the chair, not each other personally. This can be changed by a simple majority vote. When guests are present or topic under consideration would more readily be handled with direct person-to-person speaking. Third, each member is given 2 opportunities to speak per motion with 3 minutes per opportunity. No member can share or offer their time to another member. To avoid any hint of bias, a timer or other counting device will be used to mark 3-minute allotments. No member is required to speak. Fourth, in determining preference order for members wishing to speak, preference is given to the maker of the motion. A member with a dissenting position is then given preference, followed by a member with an assenting opinion. This ensures equal time and attention for all views. If there are no dissenting views, the chair may use their discretion in recognizing speakers, but must still give preference to the maker of the motion. When a motion is made, the motion must be resolved or withdrawn before another motion may be heard. Amending current motions is allowed as part of resolution. All remarks, comments, and opinions must be on topic and relevant to the discussion at hand. Once each member has had their 2 opportunities to speak or refuse them, the chair will call a vote. Votes will follow OML rules and regulations. Each member will respect the chair's authority and cease speaking when asked to do so. Each member will be respectful to other members when they are speaking. No outbursts, interruptions, or crosstalk will be permitted. At no time will swearing, yelling, name calling, or personal attacks be permissible. If the chair fails to follow these rules, any member can immediately call a point of order. All business must cease until the point of order is resolved. The point of order follows the same rules as other motions. The person making the point of order has preference in speaking, followed by a dissenting opinion, if there is one. A simple majority vote overrides the chair for a point of order. These rules may be amended, altered, added to, or otherwise edited and accepted by a simple majority vote. Also, no use of personal names when speaking about someone. You can use their position, but no names. And also one question, you can ask one question and then you get a reply before asking another question. Is that correct for you?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion is passed. And let's see, we'll move on to the next item of agenda. Okay, discuss and vote on making the town's website the official records location for finance committee minutes. I mean, it's not actually official, but I guess it would be where we would always put our minutes. We'd still have to send a copy to the town clerk, but we would make sure that our minutes are stored on the town website and not necessarily in the folder that they're kept in the finance committee office right now. Okay, so I make the motion that the town's website become the official records location for finance committee minutes. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Topic agenda number 4. We need to discuss a records request received by the committee. Ms. Walsh, if you could kind of let us in on that and we can go from there.
Yeah, I received a records request from a citizen, and I guess my only question about it, I don't know if there's more to discuss, was whether or not having our minutes on the website would meet any requests we received, or whether they are handled separately and we have to send direct things to citizens.
Well, all records requests have to go through the town clerk.
Okay.
But but by it being on the town website, the only response that needs to be sent is minutes can be found on the town website.
Okay.
So we don't have to print it out, email it, or copy it and email it to the person. They can be directed to the website and they can view them there themselves.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we have any other comments or questions on that one? Okay. All right. Ms. McCray, have you had a chance to look at and review the minutes from the meeting of 5/25?
I did.
Okay. Do you have any changes, corrections, or anything you'd like added to those minutes?
The only correction, which it doesn't, I can take care of it later, is just the spelling of my name. Other than that, it was great.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. But they are fine.
Okay. So should we have Ms. Walsh just do that quick correction, or are you gonna handle the minutes and get them sent to Ms. Jack?
I can handle it.
Okay. All right. So we need to vote to approve the minutes. I motion that we vote to approve the minutes from the meeting of 5/25/2021 with the correction of the proper spelling of Ms. McCray's name in the minutes. Any second?
Second,
All agree, all in favor?
I
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Okay, right now, what we need to do is discuss and vote on year-end transfer requests from the Highway Department. We have Chief Alden and Mr. Stairs from Patriot Rec here with us. And I hit the back button and went out of Zoom. Yeah, but my screen is not. Okay. All right. So let's see. Oh, is Mr. Beauregard as well here? Yes, he is. Okay. You have the ability to unmute yourself. Maybe we should start with Chief Alden, and he can explain exactly what's going on and how it's happening and what the purpose of it is.
You guys have me now.
Yes, yes, we do.
So the funding source will be from the police department, but the request is going to be to replace a radio repeater and antenna at the highway department. Theirs is, I couldn't tell you how old it is, but there's probably in the ballpark of 15 or 20 years old. And my understanding is, and Mr. Beauregard can confirm that it's starting to fail at this point. I know when we had to source parts for this about 15 years ago, they were getting scarce. And it's also not narrowband compliant. So it's equipment that desperately needs to be replaced. And then we have a larger project that's scheduled for next year. So we have a surplus in wages. So I proposed funding this through a year-end transfer from police wages.
Okay. Now we had mentioned, I actually had mentioned this at the last meeting, something about a grant coming in and stuff like that to help pay for stuff, but it wouldn't be used for this. Mr. Stairs, can you maybe fill in the committee members here a little bit on this grant? that I'm
Absolutely.
speaking of?
Yep. Sure.
Okay, thanks.
So when I formulate my budget for the rec, after I meet with the finance committee and town manager and we decide on a budget, I send Ashby, Ashby's assessment for the rec. That assessment is detailed in the intermunicipal agreement that the select board signed in Pepperell and Ashby, and basically it's based on population figures. So last year was about 168,000. This year is just shy of 180,000. I applied for last year and again this year. I received the grant last year and I applied for it again this year, and I'm waiting to get approval to cover Ashby's assessment. So we came up with a plan last year that we had asked the selectman and the town manager of Ashby to budget this money, just in case the grant doesn't come through for number one. Number two, we thought it was a good idea for you guys to budget this every year so that when this grant does run out, you're not getting hit with a $200,000 ticket that, you weren't budgeting for. And then number three, Ashby's public safety radio system was in disarray when we started last year, and it just needed to be upgraded. The radio infrastructure, the portables, the mobile radios, the whole 9 yards. So we thought this would be a good funding source that if we got the grant, we could then utilize this money to upgrade the radio systems. Last year, we put that 168,000 towards new portable radios and new mobile radios for both the police and fire departments. This year, if we do get the grant, we want to upgrade the radio infrastructure. These are the repeaters, the things in the background that control the system. And we're also adding another site, a fourth site, to cover some dead spots, either on Jewett Hill or Russell Hill, Crocker Road area. And we want to use that money to fund that. The quote that we got was just over 200,000. It was 203,405 to do this project. So that leaves us about $20,000 short next year. If we do get the grant, you guys budgeted 180. That leaves us about 20,000 short. So the chief in one of our meetings, Chief Alden, suggested that because we knew that Steve Beauregard needed new radios, he suggested to do it a year-end transfer because he had some excess funds in his wages line item. That way we could use the remaining money that we have left over in this year's communications line item from that grant, which is just over 20,000, to get a head start on the next year's project. So the 180 from next year and the 20 from this year should cover the entire project if we can do the year-end transfer to buy the highway department's radio system. And that grant is applied for through the town of Pepperell, myself. It goes through Patriot. So I apply for the grant. If I'm approved, I then send a reimbursement in and they pay Pepperell directly for Ashby's assessment, which this year is just shy of 180,000.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Mr. Beauregard, would you be able to explain the situation of this repeater that you're having issues with?
Sure. I don't know too much about communications. I just can tell you that we have a lot of areas in town where we cannot get through on our radio system. A lot of dead areas. I'm told that the antenna and repeater that we currently have is failing and has been failing for a while. Prior to my taking over the superintendent's position, I was informed that even way before I came on, they were told that they needed to update the system, which never got done because of funding or whatever. So I've just been slowly trying to pursue this and try to get it up to where it should be.
Okay.
If I could, Mr. Chairman, just to add to that point, in terms of how bad his system is, Chief Alden touched on it. His radio equipment is not narrowband compliant. Narrowband compliance has been something that's been going on now for probably between 15 and 20 years. Any agency, municipality, government, whoever that has a land mobile radio system had to go and become narrowband compliant. And the highway department system is not currently. Upgrading the repeater and the antenna will get him to be narrowband compliant. And just as important, it'll get him some reliability and some increased coverage.
Okay. Any committee members have any questions or comments? Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay, then I make the motion that we vote on the year-end transfer of funds between accounts from where it is coming from, account number 015-210-505-125, police wages, and and to the account number 015422520,870, which is highway expense replacement equipment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion has passed. All right. Okay, right now, do any of the committee members have any business that could not be reasonably anticipated prior to the agenda being posted or this meeting?
The requests for year-end transfers that came in on June 1st, we cannot do those because they weren't on the agenda. Is that correct?
Yes, I mean, we could maybe slide it in under this, but I spoke to the town administrator and it's not something that has to absolutely be done today. The
Okay.
urgency for this is because it needs to get done because there's not enough money in next year's payment. So that's why the chief was kind of saying we need to get this done.
Okay.
The other year-end transfers, they can wait until our normal meeting on Tuesday and we can vote for those. And also give me a
Okay.
chance to make sure everybody has them.
Okay.
Did you also receive those, Ms. McCray?
I did.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess I didn't check to see who it was all sent for. Sorry. But yeah, we will probably, I'll put that on the agenda for next Tuesday. And we'll
Okay.
discuss it then. Anything else? Okay. Let's see. Do we have any public comments or questions at this time? I'm not seeing anyone's hands up right now. Is there anyone that has a question? Okay, it would appear that no one has any questions. I guess we could end the meeting. If you'd like to lead us into that, Ms. Walsh.
I make a motion that we end the meeting at 8:09 PM.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Everyone have a good night and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Sounds good. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks everyone for showing up. I appreciate it.